her frustration level when things don't go her way. There's a lot of angst in her game. So I think just playing more games, being in more situations, getting a feel, not going too fast. I thought she had a pretty good pace about her today. So it was a great start for her.
I realize it's not a tremendous level of competition, but still, you've talked a lot of times about wanting others other than Paige to come out and play, and them playing well without her. You're pretty happy with the contributions you got from a lot of players today?
I think, but you have to look at it as in one big picture, and if you if you have Paige on the floor, everybody gets better immediately. Then if you don't have her on the floor, that doesn't mean they're not able to. They just don't have someone setting it up for them, and so that's going to take somebody to do that. Some players just need people to set them up, right? So we need to find somebody. I think, obviously Paige does that for everybody, and Sarah does that quite a bit. But that first half, we played a half like we had hoped we would play, and then, we wanted to work on some things in the second half, and it showed us that we have a lot to work on, which is good. That's what you want to come out of these games. This is what we're really good at, and this is what we need a lot of work on. So we did get great contributions from a lot of people, and that's a great sign. We're going to need it because this weekend, we play, a really good team that, makes it tough on you to do some of the things you want to do. So it was a good start all around.
Geno, you played 10 players, 5 had never played here before. When you came in, did you have an idea what it was going to look like, or you kind of just throw up against the wall and see what happens?
I was surprised that we shot it as well as we did that first half. We had 2 kids go out there, Morgan and Allie, that first time they touched it, they shot it. And, it's not like we practice here a lot. We have 1 shooter around here today. So we know what these players can do. Some of the stuff that they're going to have to do, it's going to take some time, but that's half your team that's never played. So I mentioned this either yesterday or some other time with you guys. We have too big of a gap between where Paige is right now and her level of development and too many young guys. And we need to bridge that gap in the middle somehow. Maybe when AZ comes back, that helps, or when Aubrey comes back, or, that helps. But right now, it's going to look like amazingly like cohesiveness, and it's going to look like we just met each other on, 84 West coming out this way.
Your guys' defense in the first half just completely took, Boston out of the game. What is it about this team's current makeup, even with all the newcomers, that makes you feel comfortable using a press so early and just really rely on your defense?
Yeah, when you have a lot of young players, you can get some defensive work done because it's just effort and repetition, and believe me, it's not always good, in practice. The offensive end is a little more difficult because it involves the ball, and you got to execute, and there's got to be a lot of good stuff that you have to be able to do. So I thought there was enough really good stuff. 2 great entry passes, back to back. One by KK, one by Ash to Jenna. I think those are the kinds of things that you can build on. Being able to help your team without necessarily shooting the ball. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. This isn't the kind of team that just comes out of training camp and, goes on the road against a top 5 team in the country like we have in the past and is up 30 at halftime. This is not that team, But for the first time out, encouraging.
Geno, Sarah obviously came in highly touted, but what do you see as her role on this team? What does she need to do for this team to get to where you all want to go? And kind of related to that with her and maybe even Jana being able to share, the front court together, can that give you guys a different dynamic than maybe you've had in previous years?
Yeah, we haven't had that kind of that size. We haven't had Jana's size in a while. This one. Sarah's able to contribute so many different ways. Having her on the court is like having 2 or 3 players because she fills so many roles. So when you say what role on the team does she have to play to get us to where we want to go, she has to play like she's an All-American. She has to come in here and act like it and play like it. I don't ever remember winning the national championship with just one player, or winning a Big East championship with one really good player getting 40 points a game. So she's able to contribute in so many ways, and she's only going to get better from here. But some of the steals that she gets are ridiculous too. I mean, she just has such great hands and a great feel for the game, and she's so quick. She's so quick with the ball, without the ball, and has a great feel. So yeah, we need her to play like an All-American. Say, well, that's a lot to ask. Well, in today's day and age, I don't know any other way to do it. Kids come out of high school, they all have these great aspirations, and they all feel like they're going to be great. We don't have the luxury of waiting for her to be great, so we're going to force it on her.
Geno, Alexa beat me to it on the Sarah question, but just to build on that, and regarding her potential for this year specifically, what do you think she'll be capable of, say, 20, 25 games in that maybe she's not quite capable of yet? What's that progression typically look like?
I just take it one day at a time and see what are the things that she's doing. What is she doing, and she's having success with that we can build on. And what is she not doing that she has to do? So right now she's doing more things that she's having success with that we can build on than she's not doing that we need her to do more of. So will she become an even better defender? Yes, when she gets used to the whole scheme of things and how we're doing it. Will she become a more aggressive scorer? Yeah, she will be. Will we use her as another playmaker, and having her and Paige out there together and the chemistry that I think they can create together? So, yeah, she's going to keep getting better at the things you saw tonight. And the other stuff will come because she just hasn't experienced those things yet. But they'll come. They'll come.
Geno, was there any one thing tonight you saw that you liked that maybe you weren't expecting to see? And was there any one thing that you didn't like that you weren't expecting to see?
I would say that the way we we approached the defensive part of the game in the first half. I didn't know whether or not we had that in us because, again, when you lose somebody like Nika and Aaliyah, those were two really, really, really terrific defenders, and you don't know whether you're going to be able to replace that. So that was a big unknown, and I was pretty pleased with that. Then the thing that I was, not that I didn't know, but I know that it's part of who we are because I see it every day, is when you have certain combinations and you're just going to play half court, and Paige is not in the game. And we work on that a lot in practice. Like she's not in the game, and we have to get big baskets with her not in the game, and we're not very good at that right now. So I kind of knew that, but it was proven, today that we have to get a lot better at that. Other than that, again, the biggest surprise I think is that we didn't struggle as much as I thought we would that first half, because usually the opening games are like that.
6 steals for Ashlyn today. She had 4 in the exhibition. Do you feel like she's taken a jump on the defensive end coming into this year?
Yeah, more so than last year. Matter of fact, a lot more than last year. And I do believe that's her natural mentality to be aggressive. Aggressive and cautious. I don't know that those two things go together. So we got to keep amping up the aggressive part and whittling away at the cautious part. And I think she's done a great job with that, both in practice and, like you said, in the exhibition game and today. That hopefully that gives her confidence to take more risks. We haven't spent, you look out there, and I wouldn't say this ranks among the top 5 most athletic teams we've ever had at UConn. So we're always very careful at practice in what kind of schemes are we going to use that doesn't put a lot of these guys in bad positions and makes them look not as good as they need to look. So the more we can, get better team-wise defensively, by doing what Ash did, and hopefully KK and Caitlin Paige is already doing that. She's always been like that. So, yeah, no, it's sometimes, it's easy. You look at your team and you go, we can do this. And you just go out and do it. And sometimes you look at your team and go, I think we can do that. I think we can do that. I was wrong. We can't do that. Or we'll never be able to do that. So every team's different, and you got to put them in positions to be successful.
Last night at the men's game, Ian McNeely was a freshman. He looked like he'd been playing here for 10 years. Tonight, Sarah, same thing. How hard is that, coming here with a lot of expectations? I know that they're great players. They're supposed to be great, but people want them to act like the players whose numbers are up on the wall in their first game. How much is on them to handle all the expectations?
Yeah, some players don't have it in them to be able to do it, and they get overwhelmed by the bigness of it. Players like Liam and players like Sarah, I think they prove in high school that they're made for the moments, that they show their best stuff when people most expect it of them. That's what makes them who they are. That's why everyone covets, them coming to your school. And we certainly had our share of those. And I don't think you go into the season thinking that this freshman is going to come and blow everybody away. but it has happened. I mean, we have had that. So every once in a while, you get some real unique guys that come along, and, from what I heard on the men's side, Liam is that kind of guy, and certainly Sarah is that kind of player. They come along every once in a while,
Anything else for Coach?
We're good?
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Players will be.
For Paige, this team is so inexperienced playing together and a lot of newcomers as well. What just surprises you the most about your guys' ability to come together so quickly, especially just in the opening game?
Honestly, I think it's been a focus and practice for us to really come together and play as a team. Obviously, we don't have the most experience playing with each other, which is why it's really been an emphasis on practice to help each other out, play as a fist, not as individuals, help each other, talk, communicate. The people who do have experience, use your voice, help these younger guys out who don't really know. So I think it's honestly just been an emphasis in practice, and we had a strong start today. But there's still a lot of things we have to work on. We're not getting complacent with that. We still have a long way to go in terms of learning how to play with each other, getting the best out of each other. So I think it was a step in the right direction today.
Jana, pretty good debut for you with the double-double. What did you feel like was the biggest difference for you from the exhibition to today, just in terms of your comfort level with everything?
I feel like playing more with aggression and getting used to playing in a big crowd. Obviously, I've never been in that situation before, and just getting kind of used to it, day by day. But yeah.
This one's for Jana too. Having been on I'm way back here. Having been on campus and waiting for this, just when you finally do get to check in, I mean, take us through even something as simple as walking into this building knowing that you were going to get to play and step on the court today.
I mean, being here for almost a year and a half now and not being able to play, it's been hard, but at the same time I've learned and grew so much, and every day I've been waiting for the moment to finally, being able to play and, just be out there and help the team as much as I can. But it's an amazing experience being finally able to play in this crowd, obviously, but sorry. But yeah, it's an incredible feeling. I'm speechless. Yeah.
Sarah, Coach was coming in here and was talking about how he has high expectations for you, and I don't know if you guys have talked about that for what you can do just this season, but how do you see your role on this team, and how did you feel like, just taking this first step of playing your first official game was the step towards that?
I haven't really figured out my role. And what was the second part of your question? Sorry.
I guess just building, today is the first step of building towards what you hope to be a great freshman season. How did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I did. Started off slow and got better as the game went on. And I just want to build on, keep being aggressive and being more confident in the paint and stuff like that.
Paige, the two leading scorers today are sitting on either side of you. Just what does it say about their abilities that they could do that in their first collegiate games?
Just speaks to their confidence and how hard they've been working in practice, and how much they've been learning and how much their aggression level means for this team, and when they're looking to score and when we have a heavy post presence, we're a different team. So for them to set the tone like this at the start of the season is huge for what we can be as a team.
Just ask Roger.
Paige, how about, you want to wait?
No, go.
Can you just talk about the defense? I mean, you always talk about defense needing teamwork and communication, and a bunch of inexperienced people who haven't played a whole lot together came out and played really well today.
I think it started because our defense started off really bad, and so we had a lot to work on, and it's been largely what we focused on in practice, and what we want to build our identity on. And so the emphasis on that, getting reps in, learning how to play off each other, learning how to help each other, learning how to communicate. I think communication solves almost every problem you can have on defense. So making sure that everybody's talking and helping each other out. But I think we did a great job pressuring. We did our press defense, which worked really well. We sped them up and got in the passing lanes, got deflections, got steals and tips, and got out in transition. So I think it's really been huge for us to continue to keep working on our defense because that's what we want our identity to be.
Paige, Geno was discussing freshmen, and he was discussing Sarah and Liam McNeely, the men's team. And he was just talking about how freshmen need, when they come in, they've already proven in high school that they can master the moment or that they're ready for the moment. I just wonder, from your experiences 4 years ago, what's the right mindset for a freshman to come into this situation who has a high profile? What's the right mindset to kind of thrive in those settings?
Having a beginner's mindset, which is being willing and open to learn, asking questions, being open-minded to, this is an extremely different level of basketball here in college. So whatever you did in high school was great, and it got you to where you are today, but continue to build on that and don't take it for granted where you are and don't think you're entitled to anything because of what you did in high school. And I think the coaching staff does a really good job of recruiting kids like that here. I know our entire freshman class, as long as I've been here, have been that way, just hungry and eager to learn, and just extremely motivated to not use whatever they did in high school and think that they were going to get things in college. So I think that's, what a lot of the freshmen, ever since I've been here, have had that mindset.
For Sarah this time, similar to kind of what I asked Jana, but I know this will feel like days ago, even though it's hours ago. I was watching your face when they called your name, and you kind of were like, oh, it's my time to go now. Just how have you taken in this moment, right? All the work you've done to get here, and now you get to hear your name called in the starting lineup at UConn.
It's a lot to take in, and it still feels like I'm on my official visit, but it's been great. Just the environment and being able to play with, my teammates has made it a lot easier.
Anything else for the players? Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.